and original shows.
Welcome back. You man, Don McKay in here, of course, the DonMcKayShow.com, onfire-tv.com, radioonfire.com. We are here. So many things going on, so many topics that I have to get into. I have been on vacation, so that is what's been going on there. But I am back, and I am ready to chop up things. Today, we're going to talk about this FBI search on Donald Trump's home, looking for classified documents. We're going to talk about that. This nurse who allegedly killed 6 in a fiery crash in L.A., her facing multiple murder charges. We're going to talk about that sad story. Also in a former Baltimore cop, the one that was shot by his wife. She was in court today. We're going to talk about that case. Also, the parents of the slain teen here in Baltimore. She was 14 years old, killed by a 9-year-old. They say that the shooting was intentional and not accidental. So we're going to talk about that. And also the partial settlement of the $5 million that was reached in the Anton Black police custody death case. We're going to talk about that as well. So as you can see, a jam-packed show with a lot of things to discuss. Of course, this is an interactive discussion. So if you have a question or if you think I got something wrong, you want to say something, you want to hop on the screen, you can do all of that depending on how you're watching this broadcast. Onfire-tv.com, the Don McKay Show, if you're just tuning in. So the FBI did an unprecedented search of former President Donald Trump's residence, one of his homes, his main home, Mar-a-Lago. A lot of folks have a lot of different thoughts about this. My thing is this: are they going to finally bring this criminal to justice? And I say criminal, he's gotten away with so much stuff. So many people would have been in jail. And I'm going to start, you want to talk about former presidents. I'm going to start with President Obama. If former President Obama had taken some documents, some classified documents, if former President Obama had taken some classified documents from the White House, taken it to Chicago, and posted up in Chicago with these classified documents, Republicans would be talking greasy. Republicans would be lock him up, right? They would be saying that. But with Trump, it is so amazing. These are the same clowns, the Republicans, conservatives. You forgot about the Hillary Clinton, lock her up. All of that stuff stemmed from classified emails. Now, these were emails that were, in many cases, classified retroactive. When she took them, they weren't classified, but then it became classified, and they wanted to lock her up. Trump, they took like 15 boxes of stuff, classified stuff that he should not have taken from Trump. They don't lock him up chance from Republicans now. Oh, the hypocrisy is reeking. You reek of hypocrisy. Reeking. So I have on this show many times slammed Attorney General Merrick Garland for being soft, for being weak. I am going to still withhold. It's not time to apologize to Merrick Garland yet because they haven't brought in any charges. Yeah, they went in there with a search warrant. And don't fall for this raid stuff. It wasn't a raid. They didn't kick in the door waving the 4-4. They didn't use the battering ram to bust in there. They didn't raid the place. This was a well planned out search. They have a warrant. It came from a judge. And this ain't like that janky warrant that they got for Breonna Taylor. This was a real warrant. This was a real warrant. They did, you know how you make the list and you check it twice? All right, it was like that. Okay, so Miami Black Car says, what does justice look like for a former president? There is no place to put a president that would only mean the Secret Service would be his jailer. So I think it's a great question. You ask, what does justice look like for a former president? And there's a lot of things that justice could look like. Yeah, is he going to go in general population? No, I don't even think Donald Trump's going to jail. But in many cases, specifically this case that could be pending with regards to this classified information, with regards to insurrection, he would not be eligible for any, federal office again. That's for starters. It depends on all the things that come up, right? But justice in the case of, let's talk about this search and which is unprecedented. It is true. It hasn't happened before because to our knowledge, a president hasn't stolen classified information. Let's understand what could be here. These could be, the nuclear codes. This could be agents who are undercover in some country. This could be a lot of things that could endanger our nation. We don't know what was taken, and we may not get a complete list of everything. But I want people to understand we can't, like Republicans are going, oh no, this is overreach, this is that. You can't say that because you don't know what was taken. You don't know what the documents were. We don't know yet. There's a lot of things that we don't know. But what we do know is classified information should not be down at Mar-a-Lago or wherever you reside at. We do know that. So what justice looks like, it depends. Yes, he is a former president, so he ain't going to Hagerstown or something like that. I don't know. Something. It depends. It depends. We need to find out what he tried to steal. So he's flushing stuff down the toilet. He's trying to cover up something. He's trying to cover up potential wrongdoing, and in trying to cover it up, just like Watergate, trying to cover it up is a crime in itself because of the extremes that he went to attempt to cover it up. Oh, yes, he's grimy. He is greasy. But it appears that he may be, quite possibly, brought to account. So yesterday, Monday, agents search Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, which is also a private club. This is part of the federal investigation into whether the former president took classified records from the White House to his Florida residence. Now, this marks a dramatic escalation in law enforcement's scrutiny of Trump. For so long, he's been able to get away with stuff. For so long, he has not had to face the music. He's thrown other people under the bus. He's thrown minions under the bus. He's thrown attorneys under the bus. All of that. All his life, this is what he's done. The reason why he hides his records from school is because he didn't get good grades in school. He's dumb Donald. He hid behind his father's money all his life, has not had to face any consequences all his life. And whenever consequences come, he starts acting like a child, like a juvenile. Oh, I'm being mistreated. Oh, this is the worst in the history. You've never seen this happen before. Yes, because we've never had a criminal, a baby criminal like Donald Trump in office. On Instagram, someone says, why is the justice system allowing Donald Trump to walk the streets free, but yet the basketball player Brittany Griner, right, is in jail? That is true. Also said arrested for 9 years, and yet Donald Trump is free. Hopefully, Brittany Griner will be home soon. Hopefully. And hopefully Donald Trump will not be. He's already committed enough crimes already. We don't even know everything, and we know that he's committed enough crimes. I say this again. If Black Lives Matter ran up into the Capitol at the behest of former President Barack Obama, there would have been a whole lot of dead Black Lives Matter folks. There would be a former President Obama in jail. So I don't know why folks are acting crazy. Yes, just the insurrection alone is enough. Oh, but we they still and this is a thing that really frustrates me. That's his truth. That's what they believe. No, the truth is the truth, right? You can't shape shift the truth, right? You lost the election. There's no way that you can spin it. You don't believe it. It's unbelievable that slow Joe Biden beat you, right? But listen, you are dumb Donald, so that's why. Also on Instagram, they're saying, I mean, it's so ridiculous. He is a dangerous man to the United States, and yet she's locked up. It is a racist saying, like we need a prayer, and it is scary and unfair. Yes, it is. I agree with you. I agree with you. It is scary. It is unfair. And hopefully, they will get this right. Hopefully, they will bring Brittany Griner home and Mr. Whalen, and Donald Trump will have to pay a price. Yes, it is scary. He took things from the White House, and he's been flushing things down the toilet because he's trying to cover up something. This is not normal behavior. They also said that he ate some of the paper, right? He ate some of the paper. This is not normal behavior. He also said yesterday, in his attempt as like a juvenile to try to get some sympathy on him, to try to say this is like Watergate. They broke in the White House. They broke in his home to take documents. Ain't nobody broke in your home, fool. They got an actual warrant from a judge, right? Not like the bogus one that they lied about for Breonna Taylor, but a real warrant. This is a former president. They really took their time to get this right. So you know that they covered their tracks. You know that they dotted their I's and crossed their T's if they were going to go in the former president's house looking for documents. Now, they didn't rummage through the place like in a real FBI raid. No, they're looking for specific documents. Now, they were there before trying to get documents. His attorneys were working with them, and he didn't turn over everything he was supposed to turn over. Obviously, the real juicy stuff, the real classified stuff, he didn't turn it over. So they went back looking for specific things at around 9 a.m. on Monday. This was not a raid. They did not kick in his door. And about an hour before they got there, the Secret Service knew that they were coming. So we talk about Watergate. Yesterday marked the 48th anniversary of former President Nixon resigning. So in lieu of charges being brought. And it is so ironic that Donald Trump has the FBI searching through his things right on that very day. So what prompted this? Well, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of cases that this criminal could be facing. And let me see what we got here. Okay. His own that worked with him, right? Through they knew. Okay, all right. So you're saying it's co-workers. Yeah, many of these folks were co-workers, but Trump, the stench is so bad on him. The criminal behavior is so bad that even folks that work with him now are forced to do the right thing, finally, in some instances. So yes, you're going to see Trump appointed people finally doing what they should do. Now, some of them are really diehard. They really drank the Trump Kool-Aid, and they're going to ride with him. But Republicans, if they had an ounce of sense, instead of pulling this guy close, you would be pushing him away. You would be pushing him away because he's going to destroy the Republican Party. He is toxic, okay? He is toxic. And, I don't understand what it's going to take for Republicans to understand that this guy does not care about any of you. He will throw all of you under the bus. He's thrown the American people under the bus. And many of these Republicans still holding on to Trump, holding on to him. Oh, no, you're fools, right? Because they're going to say this, they don't want him to run. Actually, many Democratic strategists that I have talked to, they want Trump to run. You know why they want Trump to run? Because if Trump runs, he's going to lose. If he didn't get the popular vote last time, he's got even less supporters now. Now, some of his supporters are loud. They talk loud, but he has less people supporting him now. You have more Republicans that are coming up to face him. The Republican Party is going to be splintered. It's going to be splintered. Oh, Double P. Poochie, what's going on, brother? From Double P Posse, what's going on? Yo, got hotel buddy. What's going on, fam? I need to holler at you. DM me. DM me on Instagram, man. We need to chop it up. I need to get you on the show, man. So Trump is bad news. Trump is bad news. And I don't understand why Republicans don't see that. But it is a fact. It is a fact. So what prompted the Justice Department to seek authorization to search the estate for classified documents now? Now, it was revealed months ago that Trump had taken boxes of materials with him when he left the White House after losing the 2020 election, right? So he was mad, he was in his feelings, and he takes these boxes, right? Takes all this classified stuff from his old job, right? So imagine somebody working somewhere, they get mad because they get fired, and they take a whole bunch of the business's trade secrets home. I mean, if he's working at McDonald's, it would probably be a problem. But this fool worked at the White House, so it's even a bigger problem, right? We ain't talking about the Colonel's secret recipe. No, we're talking about the secrets of this country. Republicans, hello, wake up. This is serious. No one is above the law. So Merrick Garland, he hadn't tipped his hat, hadn't tipped his hand, didn't let us know what was going on, despite many Democrats being impatient, despite being called out. I called him out myself many times because it just seemed like he was doing nothing. Didn't seem like he was pursuing any evidence that has surfaced since the January 6th probe, or didn't seem like he was pursuing anything from the other investigations. And, Trump's Republicans, too quick to say that Trump is the victim of some kind of political prosecution, which he is not. He is not. Democrats ain't even built like that. Republicans are. Democrats ain't even built like that. Democrats are soft. Democrats don't want to do this. They don't. Most Democrats are like Joe Biden. They soft. They soft. Republicans outsmart them all the time. Republicans are like that, relationship with somebody, right? And they did something. They cheated, right? But they flip it and accuse you of cheating before you can ask them about their cheating ways, and just completely shift the focus away from them and accuse you of doing what they are exactly doing. That's how Republicans are. Yep, that's how they are. So the federal judge had to sign off on this warrant. This warrant doesn't just pop out the sky. Federal judge had to sign off on this warrant after establishing that the FBI agents had shown probable cause before they could descend on Trump's, little Mar-a-Lago. Now, Trump was in New York at the time of the search. Lucky for him. Now, this search yesterday intensified the months-long probe into how classified documents ended up in boxes of White House records located at Mar-a-Lago earlier this year. A separate grand jury investigating the efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election, and all of this adds to the potential legal turmoil, the potential legal drama that Trump is in as he tries to lay groundwork for a potential repeat run and loss for the White House. Yeah, he's going to lose. Either way, looks crazy right now. So, of course, Trump allies, they out there trying to say this is bad. They've weaponized the criminal justice system. Are you kidding me? Donald Trump was also being accused of sicking the IRS on some potential political enemies when he was in office, is trying to act like Democrats are weaponizing the criminal justice system against him. Many of these folks were appointed by Trump. Are you kidding me? How stupid are you? Of course, Biden and the White House had no prior knowledge of this. Democrats are too dumb to do that. Too dumb or too smart, depending on how you look at it. They're too dumb to take an advantage. That's why they didn't take an advantage. They're too dumb to do it. But yes, Joe Biden had no prior knowledge of this. I don't even think he got Merrick Garland's phone number. Now, the current FBI director, Chris Wray, let's keep in mind, was appointed by Donald Trump 5 years ago. Do you remember what happened to the last FBI director? Donald Trump appointed the FBI director. This is not Democrats. So Trump puts out this lengthy statement. Trump puts out this statement trying to get sympathy on him, saying that agents opened his safe. They're looking for classified documents, and they probably are in the safe. He described their work as an unannounced raid, prosecutorial misconduct, right? No, that's not what it is. Now, the Justice Department has declined to comment on the search. They have not said whether or not Merrick Garland personally authorized it. The White House press secretary today said that the West Wing first learned of the search from public media reports, and the White House had not been briefed in the run-up or the aftermath, and they're not supposed to be. This doesn't involve the White House. This is the Justice Department, and they operate independently. Now, about 24 Trump supporters stood in protest this afternoon in the Florida summer heat. There was also like some light rain. They were on a bridge near the Mar-a-Lago. One held a sign reading, "Democrats are fascists," while others had flags saying that 2020 was rigged and Trump 2024, Biden's name and some obscenity. Some cars honked in support as they passed by. This is about 24 people. Oh yeah. He's bringing out the crowds. Remember that tour that Trump went on with some former Fox News host that canceled that joint because that joint was not selling? Yeah. I think folks are finally tired. Like, you should have enough. Now, a potential rival for 2024, former VP Mike Pence, said that yesterday's action undermines public confidence in our system of justice. Are you kidding me? Pence is such a pincushion. This is what undermines. This is what undermines public confidence. Oh, not when folks ran in the White House and you were running around with your family scared like a little punk. Oh, that didn't undermine nothing. It's this. Yeah, whatever. The FBI director was appointed by Donald Trump. The FBI director is friendly to Donald Trump. And even that Kool-Aid drinker saw that Trump needs to, bare minimum, be investigated. Bare minimum. Mitch McConnell, oh, he didn't have nothing to say because he knows it just looks crazy. He declined to react when asked about it in Kentucky. It is, they got a lot of some devastating storms going on down there. Other things that he could be talking about. But at the same time, he said that I'm here today to talk about the flood and recovery from the flood. Yeah, a true politician. A true politician. The FBI reached out to the Secret Service shortly before serving the warrant. And Secret Service agents contacted the Justice Department and were able to validate the warrant before facilitating access to the estate. So they knew that they were coming. As I said, it wasn't a raid. They didn't kick in his door or nothing like that. Nothing like that. But this looks crazy. We haven't seen this before because we have not seen a law-breaking piece of crap like former President Trump in the office before. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, onfire-tv.com, radioonfire.com. So we're going to do this. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about this nurse who allegedly killed 6 people in this fiery Los Angeles crash. She is facing multiple murder charges. Oh, this case is so sad. This nurse, man, killing these 6 people, allegedly killing six people. I gotta say allegedly, she has not been convicted yet. So we do just take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
On Fire TV is a streaming network for a generation on the move.
And we are back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course, at DiamondKShow.com, onfire-tv.com. So a 37-year-old nurse, 37 years old, accused of killing 6 people and injuring 8 others when her Mercedes-Benz plowed into several vehicles in Windsor Hills last week. So she's facing 6 counts of murder and 5 counts of vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence, officials announced yesterday. I mean, this case is so sad. This case is so sad. The LA District Attorney called the crash tragic. So Nicole Linton, a traveling nurse from Houston, was being held in lieu of $9 million bond, faces up to 90 years in prison. 90 years in prison, 90 years to life. Shout out DJ Duke, man. What's going on? So if she's convicted, she appeared in court yesterday. It's unclear whether she entered a plea. Authorities believe Linton's car was traveling at about 90 miles an hour when she sped through a red light and hit crossing vehicles at a busy intersection at La Brea and Slauson Avenue. Damn. I mean, that is that is really, really sad. So Ashira Ryan, 23 years old, she was 6 months pregnant. Her 11-month-old son, Alonzo, and her fiance, Reynold Lester, were on their way to a checkup. They were on their way to the doctors when the speeding Mercedes hit them and exploded into flames. Everyone in Ryan's vehicle died, including her unborn son. I mean, it doesn't get any freaking sadder than that. 2 other women in another vehicle were also killed, but they have yet to be identified. 6 other vehicles were also involved in this crash. A young family destroyed at the blink of an eye. We don't know how long or what's going on in this thing that we call life. Now, this wreckage, this fiery crash at this intersection. I mean, it was removed and eventually traffic resumed. But as things have gone on, there is catastrophic damage to these families, to the friends of those killed and injured. It is a tremendous loss of life, and just an incredible tragedy. So many of you have seen it on social media, and it is not pretty. There is no evidence that alcohol was a factor in this deadly incident, but they're still investigating and still trying to get to the bottom of what happened, why it happened, and I don't know. Loved ones gathered at the site of this crash over the weekend, and so they had messages, and it's really not a lot that we can say about the facts. We know what the facts are, but I've been seeing on social media some folks trying to excuse this behavior, trying to make an excuse for why she did what she did. Oh, somebody cheated on her and she wanted to kill herself. But yeah, if that is the case, I think she would have taken other steps. It's just, I don't know. Even if that is the case, what this Texas nurse did, there's no excuse for it. There's no way that you can try to gain any sympathy on this Texas nurse. She's been charged with 6 counts of murder. She's been charged with six counts of murder in this, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't know why folks, we talk about mental health and the way folks deal with stuff, but you got people that are going to try to make excuses for any type of behavior. Any type of behavior. This Texas nurse, who has been charged with 6 counts of murder in this crash, was involved in 13 prior wrecks, according to prosecutors. 13. But of course, I know they're going to say maybe somebody did something to her in her life, and you're not going to know how you're going to react to it until something happens to you. There's no excuse for this. You can't clean it up, but people are going to try. Whenever everyone's going right, there's always one person going to say, oh, what about this? What about that? These folks are dead. And she's still alive. Traveling nurse from Texas, charged in this fiery Los Angeles crash. 37 years old. Barreling out of control in a Mercedes. Oh, she's the victim. So they don't think that she was under the influence of alcohol, which makes it worse. She has no excuse. The cause of the crash remains active. They are still searching for the answers. And they may never find the answers. But the process of holding accountable the person responsible for the deaths of 6 people, including a pregnant woman and their families, this case will always be remembered for the senseless loss of so many innocent lives. These are people that were just going about their daily routines. So I definitely want to thank the prosecutors investigating this, the officers, the California Highway Patrol, and everyone for their work on this case. So she had her court appearance. Judge held her without bail. There's also a hearing scheduled for next week. It is just a crazy situation, crazy world. Definitely. I mean, I hate to say this because it's so routine, but thoughts and prayers to the family. Definitely sending out our, just our love to the grieving families and the grieving ones. Take a quick break. It's the Diamond K Show on fire-tv.com. Welcome back, your man Diamond K in here. Of course, the DiamondKShow.com, on fire-tv.com, radioonfire.com. Shantira Weems appeared in court. Trial date has been set in the shooting of her husband, former Baltimore City police officer. Husband remains held on child sex abuse charges in Baltimore County. So Shantira Weems appeared in court today in Washington, D.C. Superior Court for a felony status conference. So the Baltimore County woman is accused of shooting her husband, James Weems Jr., on July 21st at a D.C. hotel over child sex abuse allegations at the daycare that she owns. James Weems Jr. was arrested, charged, and denied bail last week. So many folks, I saw this online, many folks feel like she did her duty, right? He was being accused of child sex abuse. And initially she tried to say this was self-defense. But evidently she wrote some things down saying that she was going to shoot him, not kill him, but paralyze him, allegedly. So there's going to be an indictment, and it must be within 90 days of arrest. Shantira's attorney, Tony Garcia, said. And it also stipulates prosecutors are required to give a plea offer. So the general feeling in the public is that she's a hero. That's how a lot of people feel. Her attorney continues, this is something that shouldn't be ignored. I want people to read about it, talk about it, and really think this through. This is a situation that is a nightmare. According to court filings, Shantira Weems told police she didn't want to kill him. She just wanted to hurt him, but she does want to kill herself. Yeah. So there are a lot of things going on here. To have someone that you trust and love molest or harm one of those children broke her heart. But still, he is her husband, and still she wanted to ask him, is there some way those children were wrong? And when confronted with that information, he charged her and she defended herself, her attorney says. Supporters of Shantira Weems arrived at the courthouse to find that the hearing had been moved up earlier than planned. They did that on purpose, more than likely. Mrs. Weems appreciates the support she's getting. The investigation in Baltimore County is exactly what she wants. She wants him to never molest another child. Her next court appearance is scheduled for November the 28th, and the judge set a trial date of December the 6th. This case has really resonated. And it resonates across all races and sexes, according to the attorney. Attorney believes that there are many things that divide this country, but the protection of our children is not one of them. So according to her attorney, Shantira Weems will be indicted likely before Halloween. He said that they're still interviewing witnesses in the discovery process. He said that he is also anticipating the delivery of DNA evidence by court order, said that he's not allowed to discuss certain evidence that's been provided. He would say that this is going to be Mrs. Weems' stand on the truth. She did not speak during the proceedings, only nodding her head yes and no, and she remains held without bond. So this case, very, it's a sad story, obviously. Now, if the facts pan out, what happens then? I guess it comes down to whether or not it was premeditated, whether or not it was self-defense, and I suppose, whether this gun was legal or not. All of these are questions that hopefully we will get answers to. Let's do this, take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the parents of the slain girl who was killed by this 9-year-old boy in Baltimore. The parents say that this was intentional, not accidental. We're going to talk about that case when we come back right after this. It's the Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com, onfire-tv.com.
Visit onfiretv.com for live top stories, breaking news, and original shows.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course. DiamondKShow.com, onfire-tv.com, radioonfire.com. Plenty of questions remain as the Baltimore police investigate Saturday's shooting death of a 15-year-old girl. 15 years old. So questions include, how did the alleged shooter, a 9-year-old boy, get access to a gun? The victim's parents said that their daughter was the kind of person who could light up a room and make you smile. Her family, including her 3 brothers and 2 sisters, are grieving her loss. The family of Nikayla, they want her remembered as a 15-year-old West Baltimore girl full of life who loved TikTok and dreamed of being a fashion designer. So sadly, Nikayla died on Saturday. She was shot and killed on her own front porch. The alleged shooter is a 9-year-old boy. Now, her parents said that they heard the gunshot. One of the girl's friends ran inside to tell them what happened, saying that Kayla was just shot. He just killed Kayla. Oh my God, he shot her in the head. Can you imagine being in the house and one of your child's friends run in and says those things to you? So the mother talks about the heart-wrenching of going down the steps and grabbing her child. And police initially called this a shooting accidental, saying that witnesses claimed that the boy was playing with a loaded gun. He dropped the gun and ran after firing it. Nikayla's parents said that they don't believe it. I mean, why would they, right? Why would they? They said that they think that the shooting was intentional and had nothing to do with their daughter. Her parents said that 3 weeks ago, the 9-year-old got into an altercation with their son on the basketball court. They said that the boy had been hit with the basketball and later made threats. Police said that they were unable to confirm or verify anything outside of the statement that they have provided. And under Maryland law, because of his age, the boy can't be charged. Police said that the gun is registered to an armed security guard, a female relative of the boy. The victim's parents wonder how the child got access to a weapon. I mean, it did cross my mind. 9-year-old boy getting hold of a loaded gun. And according to her parents, this boy had this gun for weeks. For weeks. Mayor Brandon Scott said he's worried about the impact and the devastation caused by this tragedy and said that there should be consequences. It's very simple. If you are a guardian and don't secure your weapon, a young person has it and someone is killed, there has to be accountability for you because you cannot be that reckless, he said, seemingly pointing to consequences coming to the gun owner. Oh, you know this country doesn't do stuff like that. You know that. Police investigation remains open. Police and the state's attorney's office are looking into possible charges against that very gun owner. I don't see it happening, though. I don't. This country just don't get down like that. They're going to hold a gun owner accountable? They didn't do the shooting? No, I don't see it. I don't know about that. I don't see it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, onfire-tv.com, radioonfire.com. We will be back with this last story talking about this partial settlement of $5 million reached in the Anton Black police custody death. We'll be back right after this on The Diamond K Show.
On Fire TV is a streaming network for a generation on the move.
And we are back. Your man Diamond K in here. The family of Anton Black announced Monday that it reached a partial settlement in the 2018 police in custody death on the Eastern Shore. You remember this case. We talked about it. The lawsuit in the federal court alleges that the 19-year-old's death, which happened in police custody, was discriminatory and unconstitutional. It also charges that the state medical examiner conspired with police to cover up the wrongful actions by the officer. Sadly, this is not the first time that I have suspected something like this has happened. It is a bittersweet partial victory for Black's family. They have vowed that the work is not finished, the work is not done. The family will receive $5 million in damages, and 3 police agencies have to overhaul their use of force policies. If you remember, Black, 19 years old, died September 15th, 2018 during an altercation with police in Greensboro, Caroline County. The medical examiner declared Black's death was accidental. In January 2019, prosecutors decided not to consider criminal charges against the officers involved in his death. Imagine that. It's a good old boy thing. No charges, said Black's father. They killed him, not even a misdemeanor charge. If they do a dog like they did my son, somebody would have been charged. Somebody would be in jail. These fellas should be under the jail. I agree totally with his father. Renee Swafford, one of the attorneys for the family, said that Anton Black suffered 43 blunt trauma wounds during this altercation. 43. So the attorney claims that this sends a very strong message to this community that they refuse to convict white officers who abuse Black people. They think it sends a strong message. I don't think it sends a strong message. $5 million is not enough to send a real message. So the police body camera video shows Officer Thomas Webster smashing the window of a car that Anton Black got into and using his stun gun on him. Anton Black escaped, but was quickly caught and pinned down by 4 white men, including officers and a civilian. What message was taught? Family members said that Anton pleaded, "Mommy, help," as the officers pressed his face, chest, and stomach into the ground for nearly 6 minutes. The first responding officer had been fired from Delaware Police Department and had a history of being physically abusive to African American suspects in his custody. 3 Eastern Shore municipalities must overhaul their police use of force policies by enhancing resources for officers who confront mental health emergencies, train officers in de-escalation, intervention, and complicit bias, and practice transparency in hiring and reporting public complaints. Do you think that this is going to happen now? Sometimes some justice is not full justice. There still remains others who need to be held accountable in this tragedy. The family wants a new autopsy to be performed and the officers involved to be held accountable. I hope that this happens. But when situations happen to us as a community, Black people have got to continue to push for change. Other communities push for change. We do it for a little while and then we kind of fall by the wayside. We got to do better with that part, the accountability part. I will be back here tomorrow, of course, at the Diamond K Show on all social media, djdiamondk@gmail.com if you're trying to get in touch with me. 6 p.m. on fire-tv.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, just search the Diamond K Show and holla at me. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Visit onfiretv.com for live top stories, breaking news, and original shows.